We're live. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 279. I'm your host, Ty Backer. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Behind the Tool Belt. We will be right back after our intros from our sponsors.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. TC Backer.
Welcome to Behind the Tool Belt, where the stories are bold, the conversations are real, and the insights come to you live, raw, and uncut. Every week, host Ty Cobb Backer sits down to bring you the stories, the struggles, the lessons learned, and the wins. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. Please welcome your host of Behind the Tool Belt, Ty Cobb Backer.
And we are back. Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the Tool Belt. Today marks a kind of a milestone, I guess. It's episode 279. It's kind of a square number. It's not a nice round number.
Yeah.
Like 280. Actually, next week we'll be on the road. Vic and myself will be on the road. We'll be traveling to Greenville, to our other location. We're going to knock out a couple things that we need to address. But next week's show will be a solo show. It'll be us on the road, which should be pretty wild. And then the week after that, David Bruno will be in the studio with us. And I think, some of my favorite, episodes are definitely with you, Erico and David Bruno. Like, you guys are like the original OGs of Behind the Tool Belt, and are some of the most memorable, our Christmas episodes and stuff like that, where you showed up down at the shop pretty shot in the ass. And I have no idea how the hell you made it home, but you did, because you're still with us today and didn't get locked up for anything. No, just kidding.
I think my son drove.
Probably, but I think you also showed up as Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a pretty remarkable and rememberable episode. So, it's always.
I thought we were talking about leadership. Ty.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
But I want to, poke fun a little bit here.
It's all right.
Of you. But, this is, the podcast where, we talk about leadership, personal development, all those good things that are happening within our industry. And, for the most part, we have people that are on the show that are, entrepreneurs. I don't want to just say industry specific, but in terms of how you, have affected our business, right? So you do touch a lot of people within our industry, and a lot of people might not know that. Now, that was one cool thing about our golf tournament that we hosted. Okay. There was, I don't remember how many people. There was 144 people there. Okay. Because we maxed out the golf course. I don't even think they had to lease golf carts from another local golf course to bring in to accommodate how many people were there. So I'm just going to spit out, because most golf tournament scrambles are 144 people. So there was 144 people there, half of which didn't even know each other, but somehow were connected, right? Like that ripple effect of whether it was cash flow or influence or somehow there was some connection, whether it was my insurance company, or like Eric Brewer was there. Okay. We do a lot of work for him and have for a very long time. Okay. So imagine that ripple effect. Like, if we really unpack that for a minute, and how many lives that impacts and touch, and they don't even know where that cash flow might come from, or our insurance agent, right? Like, how that impacts him, because you know what I mean? But anyhow, my point is the impact that you have on us, right? And that allows us to impact our local communities, because you're always the one of the first people I reach out to. Maybe not always. I was going to say sometimes the last person I reach out to, because it's always the last minute. But in theory,
I was just going to say, usually, Ty, it's a Tuesday and you need a Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that count?
So maybe you are the first person usually that I'm contacting whenever we're doing any kind of event. All of our events at any of our locations, and even with Behind the Tool Belt, you've shipped overnighted towels to us at RoofCon.
You said a key word there, and let's just take that into account. Like, we're real big right now into this, and you are your golf tournament community, your world, people outside that world, the ripple effect. I think you and I talked about it a couple of days ago, but the ripple effect, how it is in everything that you do. So if DHL doesn't pay a bill to certain people early enough, they can't pay their people that can't pay their people. It goes down the line. If I go to an event and my insurance person's there, and all of a sudden they know somebody, they're an insurance person for somebody else that might lead to me, that leads to somebody else that goes down the road. Like, everything is a ripple.
Oh yeah.
Like, regardless of
negative or positive.
Negative or positive. I'm just saying, in general, the ripple effect in your business. Never did I think about the ripple effect as I was building the business.
Yeah. No.
Within my business, outside of my business. I mean, you think about like how you act, or, how you want to handle a situation, but you think about it more, the more mature your business is, or the more mature we are, hypothetically. I'll use the quotation marks.
Quote, unquote. Yeah.
But that ripple effect word, it's an interesting phrase to start our, you know what I mean? Like how it affects your golf tournament affected a lot of people.
It did.
It did.
Yeah. We raised it all together between the Baltimore, because there was like a week or two later, Stephen Spence, whose idea it was to host these things. Right. So big shout out to Stephen Spence. And we're also participating in Swing for Recovery this year too. But I think there's going to be a few more, across the country, one in Colorado, one in Baltimore, one here. There might even be one in New Jersey. But again, that ripple effect.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a good ripple effect.
Yes.
You have bad, like you said, good and bad, but the ripple effect is in everything. Yeah,
it really is. To every action, there's a reaction, I guess.
Well, true. Yeah. That's probably the point. You know what I mean? Right. I always love how you walk through a shop and you're talking to somebody and you say one thing, and how when it comes back out the other side, that ripple goes down and that wave's really big, and it turned into like a tidal wave of something that started with, no, that's not how I said it. This is what I said. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the bad side of
the grapevine effect is what I've heard that the phrase before.
They pass it along, but that's the ripple, right? Ripple turns into a So anyhow,
no doubt.
I went off on a tangent.
Sorry. No. I mean, it's definitely a great topic that we could, and I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have impact.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is the crazy thing about impact, is that I don't think we know, and I don't think you knew until maybe that I just mentioned the power of that impact and how many lives you've actually been able to touch.
Yes.
Throughout the country, as Vic and I have traveled to, everywhere but the West Coast. I mean, we were, Colorado, Utah, Texas, dozens of times, Florida, dozens of times, Greenville, South Carolina, Hilton Head, South Carolina, like just all over the country. Your merchandise, your swag, your product has been touched by way more people than you can even imagine. You know what I mean? And there's one of your towels that you made us. Where was Woody? Not Grand Cayman. They're on one of these ship cruises where you stay on it for like a week. It's not a real big, huge one. It's pretty nice sized ship where they dive like 5 times a day. So he's on like a scuba diving ship where all week long, he's sending us photos of the towels that you made us. One, he's hiding in the head, taking a shit with the towel held up. Like just all kinds of crazy, like, hey guys, love you. Just
we use them for anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Not just as their purpose. Right. But
in the shitter.
Yeah. And I guess
it's going down the drain, Vic.
Yeah. And that's kind of like legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, like people have come to work here that for one reason or another don't work here anymore. Okay. But we do know that they're different. If they come through and they're here for any amount of time, okay, they leave as a different human being. And I would like to think in a better way that they leave here. Okay. And let's just say they came through and they were here for several years and they go and start their own business. Okay. We'll never get the credit for that, even though we know that when they came here 8, 9, 10 years ago, that they had no idea what roofing was or how to even install a roof. Let's just put it that way.
But they watched you do it, Ty.
Yeah.
Right. They know.
Right. But we'll never, that's like the catch-22 about legacy. We'll never know. But this is what I've come to accept and appreciate is that they don't need to say if it wasn't for TC Backer,
right,
that I wouldn't be who I am today. That is the part of legacy that there's more of that than there is people saying, oh, praise TC Backer because they feed 5,000 children every summer.
Right.
You know what I mean? More of the impact happens unknown. And I guess if you're traveling this journey, you have to not just accept that, but not get hemmed up in the hubbub of like, hey, look at me. We've impacted so many different people. It's just, it takes a certain breed of person to want to suit up and show up and want to take care of it. Because leadership, I am so sick and tired of that word. Leadership. It really what it is. It's servantship.
Absolutely.
It is what it is, because that's what it's all about. Because there are days, weeks, and months that go by where I just want to punch everybody in the face.
And a few others.
Okay. But I get through it. I bounce back, perseverance, resiliency, all that stuff, and not get hemmed up in people aren't peopling right, and, they have no idea, because I can get hemmed up in that they have no idea what myself and my family have gone through to produce payroll, to sign Christmas bonuses, the list just goes on and 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 on. Again, I'm not running out there smacking people upside the face. Like, do you have any idea that I've had to put 8 mortgages on I've never done that. So I won't even use that.
Yeah.
Never refied or anything outside of my rental property. But my point is there's a lot of things that us entrepreneurs have to go through, the shit that we go through. And it's kind of like, we really don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know why
I envy the person that can get in their car, go to work, do work, kind of a flexible schedule, and go home. Right? I envy that in a lot of ways, because we were, I went, for lack of a better term, anchor. It's not an anchor, but there's something that's tied to you to the whole time. You're obligated to that, and that's what to what's that saying about the person much is given, much is asked, right? Yeah. So, if you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to work your tail off and be given something, there's going to be a lot also asked of you. It's not like, if it was right, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Yeah. Right. And if it was easy, you would be able to do it tomorrow, walk out the door and do it tomorrow. Yeah. And you don't, I like you. There are have people out there that, have gone on to do other things or don't, that will never admit, but that's okay. Yeah. All we can hope for, and that's where I was kind of going with that, is all we can hope for is that they go out and have the same amount of impact on other people's lives as we've had on theirs. I'm going to use a phrase that I use all the time. Don't make an impression, make an impact. So, in our industry, impressions, that's the number of prints we do or whatever. But I started saying that phrase a long time ago. Let's not make an impression. Let's make an impact. Okay. And what is the impact? The impact is when you go out and you say, I work it to the T. Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah. They do our swag. They do, you know what I mean? You don't want to be on the other side of that. Right. So you just be an upstanding company as best you can. There's going to be wins and bads. And if you win more than you lose, then it's a good thing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But you try to make the impact in the community. Right. You know what I mean? And you can't impact every organization, but at least you can impact as many as you possibly can to get your hands on. Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're not going to make and keep everybody happy either. And that's something else that we have to accept. But
if
also, everybody
was happy, that's utopia, right?
But also learn from that. What did we do wrong here? If it's not a good fit, that's one thing. But if you lose a client or if you lose a team member or a coworker, okay, those for me over the years, right away, I want to take it personally because I am a firm believer that people don't quit jobs, they quit people. So I kind of get hemmed up in that a little bit when somebody does end up leaving, but I also got to look at the whole thing where it's kind of like they had a better opportunity. It wasn't necessarily, something that we did wrong. Okay. Right. But when somebody does leave or you end up losing a client, that right there there's a big, huge lesson to be learned there. Like, why is this happening for us right now?
Right.
Okay. Or if you have a client that is very difficult to work with. And over the years, we've had several of them where, like, if we can meet that standard, we should be able to meet everybody's standard. And that has now become the standard. And that's what I've said to my team, where it's like, I know they're very difficult. We had this project several years ago up in Mechanicsburg, and this guy was relentlessly on my ass about safety, about cleanliness. And I mean, over the smallest, minute pieces of little fragmented aluminum snippets on the ground. I mean, it took him longer to snap a picture and send it to me than it would have been for him to just pick it up and throw it away. What I discovered was on my way there to whoop up on him, I'd left my family in Delaware. I was on vacation, left them there and drove the whole way to Mechanicsburg to put the schmack down on this dude. I had been so emotionally hungover because I kicked his ass 5 ways to Tuesday up here. I knew exactly what I was going to say. I knew exactly how the conversation was going to do. I knew exactly what his rebuttal was going to be and what I was going to follow up with. Like, I mean, I just metaphorically, like, mentally beat the crap out of this dude. 3.5 hours, probably 4 up to Mechanicsburg. Left my family down there, drove up there, got there. He'd have probably just been able to push me over because I was so emotionally hungover and distraught, like worn out, like beat the crap out of myself. But what I've realized on my way there, and I got out of the truck and he was so excited to see me. Hey, Todd, because he's a keyboard warrior, right? What I realized is this guy is just so good at his job. He's really good at his job, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that he was pointing out my character defects, my flaws, our flaws, not necessarily my personal character defects, but our flaws, our character defects as a company. Mm-hmm. And that's where I discovered, and this is going back a good 10, 12 years ago.
I remember the day.
Do you?
Yeah. You talked to me on the drive up.
Probably did.
And I got the whole story about what you were going to do to this guy.
Yeah. I already knew where the body was going.
But I distinctly remember that day. I remember us talking. It was like a day or two later. And I was like, how did that go? Mm-hmm. And you're like, it didn't go any way that I said it was going to go.
I took away time from my family. That's how that went.
Right.
Really, at the end of the day.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is that guy going to be a big advocate for you now?
He is. We still work with him.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Still work with this guy. And that has become the standard. Do we always meet that standard? No, we don't. Right. But we now know what the standard is. If we can keep this guy happy, we are going to shine like a diamond. Like there's nobody that we're not going to be able to accommodate if we hold this standard.
Now you do have notes in the system. Hey, by the way, this guy's particular. Yeah. Or, hey, don't do this on
when
there.
I passed him off to Vic, I warned Vic. When Vic passed him off to Baker, Vic had to warn Baker.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this
kind of like we warn everybody about.
Yeah.
You.
Probably. That's why I don't deal with anybody else other than you.
No, it's because they would come to me to ask if we could get this done. So you just come right to me.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for the day you say, hey, I needed my shirts yesterday, Chris. I haven't had that one yet.
Okay. That's coming. That's coming. That's coming. Love my shirts.
I needed them yesterday, Tuesday, Chris. You're late.
Yeah.
You're holding me back.
Today's Wednesday. What's up?
You didn't even give me the order
and
yet.
You came here empty-handed.
Oh, by the way, I did forget your order was up in my office and I forgot. I'm going to get yelled at. Kelsey's going to yell at me. So,
speaking of Kelsey, Tabby reached out to me. She wants
yeah, man. Yeah. She, we think that's the one good thing about our shop.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the shop understands the value of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You will be more patient sometimes because we understand because they're patient with us. So, that's very
well, and that's what's so special about our relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think one time I had a moment on you, and I'm not even saying we had a moment. It was on me. Okay. And it wasn't even you. It wasn't even you that I was frustrated with. It was everything else.
Yeah, but you talk about that, but friends do that, right? So, I mean, that if you can't do that as friends, let's be honest with each other.
Yeah.
If we can't, as servant leadership or whatever, if we can't as leaders have a moment on some employees, then we're all not in this together. Because there's going to be a day an employee has it on me. And I can tell you, Kelsey's had several.
No doubt.
My son, Mason, has had several. But it's going to happen. Like, you don't need, like, that's just like my wife and I argue, right? That's my best friend.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people are going to have that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's unhealthy.
No.
As a matter of fact, I think it is healthy. And, one of the things we started saying in our shop was, when there's something wrong with it, hey, can I get that back from you? And people would get upset until I said, we use it as a training mechanism to find out where we went wrong. Then they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, sure. I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to send you a shipping thing label. Just send it back to me. We want to find out in our system where this went wrong and where we could be better at it. All of a sudden, then they want to be a part of it. Everybody's a bitcher until they're part of the solution.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right. And it's okay to ask a customer, where do you think this would be easier on a customer for future reference? Where do you think this would help us out for customers in the future to be better for them? Right. So I think there's a lot of things that we take for granted sometimes that we, even as customers,
Yeah.
So,
isn't that for sure?
Like, even as customers, like we're on that other side every day, but yet I walk into Subway and damn it, if you put that green pepper on there, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. Calm down.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, there is healthy controversy. I mean, there really is healthy controversy. We had a situation not that long ago, and I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but I knew that they were at odds. And I used to jump right in and try to fix everything. Like, no, you guys are going to get along right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If not, then I'm going to be mad. Like, I out mad the situation. And I let it go. I was like, no, they need to work it out. Actually, there was two situations where, I knew that they needed to work this out because we do hold a high standard. Okay. And really at the end of the day, all they're doing is holding each other accountable. Like, and I watched the entire conversation unfold. You know what I mean? And it was like, well, they're just holding each other accountable. So that's where healthy controversy is just leveling people up. Like, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it too. And there's kind of like the in-between way where, hopefully you don't go too overboard and mother F somebody or whatever. And that happens too. Right. But sometimes we need to say stupid stuff too, to knock ourselves back a peg.
Right.
And realize like where I've done wrong. And that has turned into better relationships where now I'm coming to you more vulnerable.
Right.
And like, hey man,
I love when you're vulnerable. Guy.
So sorry. Well, I know. Well, never mind. Well,
listen, what happens in our office too. So listen, Kelsey's driven.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a Kelsey or has a Kelsey. And, sales reps do things wrong at times. And sometimes, some days it's okay. You can tell who she's mad at, but based on the fact that what she's not going to put up with that day. Right. Oh, you're in the doghouse. It's kind of the running joke. Like, who's she mad at? But that's her job. Right. She's held accountable by me. Right. Which she doesn't like. You know what I mean? Because she can't bark back. She can bark, but she can't, But that's the thing. I think, you want that. You want that accountability
Of course.
You want them to work it out themselves, which is where I am in this stage.
Yeah.
You know, like I left today and I was like, all right, you're going to load the van up. You're taking all these things out. I turned around, walked out. Usually I would have loaded the van like back in the day, loaded the van. This is where you're going. When you see this person, say hi, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Now I'm getting to a point where, well, hey, what did you learn the last time you were out? Oh, I learned this, that, and the other thing. I'm starting to make them, hey, write in a book and write notes in there and put that on because, you know, you start delivering stuff. They can just go in the book and be like, oh, Susie usually gets it. She's at the counter. Yeah. That kind of stuff. So they started doing that themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good.
Well, they don't want robots.
No, you don't.
Right.
Yeah. No, because we're in the customer service space. You know what I mean? We got to accommodate and you want them to, even though you're not there and your back's turned, you want to make sure that your clients are receiving the same service and value, right? As if you were there.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. And sometimes they're even better.
Right. Yes.
At it.
Yes.
You know, because just because we're other places and when we show up there, we may not be as like, here's your boxes. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as our coworkers are making deliveries, like that's what they're there to do. They don't have 15 other places they have to be in their mind psychologically. You know what I mean? And that's what I found. Like my team, a lot of my team is a lot better, especially today at things that I used to do all the time, like load the truck. I'd be the one driving the truck after loading the truck and making all my rounds and deliveries and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I come to find out they're better at it because one, I might not have the bandwidth. Like I should be working on the company, not in the company necessarily so much because you know, and this is where the impact starts. Like we've built such a nice
not
business.
The impression,
right?
The impact.
Yeah. The impact, right? Yeah. Like here, I'm impacting you. I gave you a job,
right?
You know what I mean? To go out and impact more people's lives. And, you know, speaking of which, you know, the way, and I think we talked about this earlier on the phone today where, you know, like early on when we used to be the one loading the truck, driving the truck and delivering everything. And we had a small team and, you know, the way that I led then compared to the way that I lead now,
totally different.
Right. It is totally different, you know, and I was talking to you about like, you know, it's one thing to have all of the right people in place, you know, and I've gotten complacent myself where it's kind of like they should know their job, but not realizing that people still need led, but it needs to be different now because it's a different breed of people that are here compared to 16 years ago, the way different breed of people who work for us today.
I'm going to stop you right there. Cause I had that happen just today. Mm-hmm. So all along, our sales reps, like I've kind of taken, that's my gig. I like to sell. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I've kind of taken the sales, being a sales leader, like having sales meetings and talking about ways to do things and be better at it. And, you know, your CRM and staying on top of things and the follow up and the follow through. And I had talked to my lead sales rep about a certain thing that we were doing and that I wanted to do. And I started implementing and, you know them, they don't want to implement it, you know what I mean? Or it seems like it's different, but you implement it. And then I said, once we get to a certain point, you'll be able to see the value in this. Mm-hmm. So today I showed him the value in this. And the next thing you know, all of a sudden he's all in, you know what I mean? Which was great. That's a leadership thing. And I just thought about that now. That was a leadership. I didn't do it. I was just like, hey, let me show you this. And then it's kind of like showing your kid how to put a chain on his bike. Yeah. Right. All of a sudden, then he could do it. That's a leadership thing. And you just didn't know it. Right. Yeah. Helping your kid put his chain on his bike. Yeah. Or, hey, this is how you push a lawnmower correctly. Or this is what you want to look for when you're mowing or trimming. Same thing happened today. Sometimes you have to go out and show it. Yeah. And show it once. And then they'll come back with well, what about this? Or, hey, I did it this way and then they'll come back with all these other things that make that process or procedure better. Yeah. And that's what's happened. That's what happened. You know, that's where I find my value in leadership.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
You know, and where I most recently have noticed in one of my shortcomings is that I'm guilty of not fully explaining the goal, right, or the mission. So I've been using this cemetery that's across the parking lot here as an example. Like, I am so guilty of, I need you to go over to the cemetery. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll leave the room. Okay. So they're kind of just like, all right, just doing on the way over there. Like, when I should have said, there's an oak tree over in that cemetery. And every time the wind blows, it's scraping across these headstones. Okay. And it's damaging them. If I would have gave just that much more description, they'd have been like, oh, okay, grab the chainsaw and ran over there. But while they were over there, they noticed there was 2 other oak trees
and they would have trimmed them
that were doing the same thing. And then they would have discovered, hey, maybe we should break these leaves up. Hey, now the grass needs mowed. Hey, now the headstones need power.
Well, we hope it would go like
yes,
that. Right. But
with a little more description, which would buy us maybe a little more time until we can circle back and walk over and be like, hey, why don't you now mow the grass?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, trim this up, or hey, those leaves need raked.
Yeah, because if they don't have enough initiative, that's one thing. You know what I mean? But us giving a better description of like, why I need you to go over there. This is our goal. Our goal is to clean this place up, stop damaging the headstones, right? And I'm looking out the window and I'm watching this oak tree.
Yeah, but the next question is the one that you want. So if I tell Vic to go get that, do what you said. Mm-hmm. Hey, go over there and clean up that oak tree. Mm-hmm. Okay. If he says, hey, is there anything else that needs cleaned up over there? Mm-hmm. That dude right there, I'm going, this guy's a little forward thinking. Like that sticks with me. Like, oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Yep. Good point. How about you go over there? I'll be over in 5 minutes. I'll give you a little roundup and you can finish up. You good with that? Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, cool. I'll be right over. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The next question is the one.
Yes.
Right. And I was where did I get that from? There was a book I was reading and it was talking about the questions back from an employee. And what they mean to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, or how you take them. Mm-hmm. Like the catcher catching a ball. Yeah. He's going to catch a knuckleball different than he catches a fastball or a curveball.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yes.
And how you receive that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you give them instruction and they come back to you and you're in a pissed off mood, you'll be like, look, I just told you to go do that. Yeah. Whereas it's like, I gave them instruction, pause. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay, what are they asking me? Okay, what are you asking me? Because I'm in a bad mood right now. So what are you asking me? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm asking you this. Okay, great. Mm-hmm. So the receiving of that, it's good that they're asking. Oh, I think you're great. That's great. That like in my mind, I'm going, you start to think like, oh, this is great. Yes. Right. And then if I don't receive it right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, you're going to find out right away, too, if they have the initiative, whether they're asking the right questions or by the time you do show up, they already started to rake the leaves after they took the limbs down.
Right. But like, what if you
right away, I'm thinking they should already know they need to clean the limbs and the leaves up. But some people weren't that forward thinking.
They will, but some people, but some will. They'll start to get to know what your expectations are
exactly
when you do that.
Right. Like, what's the standard here? Like, we're not just going to come over here. Like, Ty wouldn't accept the fact of us just cutting these limbs off and then leaving for the day.
Okay. I'll use this analogy. Hey, Vic, go wash my truck. So he takes your truck thinking ahead. Hey, I'm going to be ahead of this game. These stickers on here, these decals. Yeah, that's not good. This is a brand new truck. Why we have these? And he starts taking them off. Is that good? No. Yeah. You would want them to say,
yes.
Hey,
what about these stickers?
Yeah. Yes. And you're going to be like,
yeah. Are they asking the right questions?
Correct. Yeah. Is it the right question? Yeah. Or he comes back with no decals on and you're like, look, I just paid $80,000 for that truck, including the decals.
Right. Yes.
I appreciate your being forthcoming about this, but I really wanted the decals.
Thank you for taking the initiative. Like, I understand where your mind was, but that was pretty dumb.
Yeah, it was but still, it's what they're asking.
Yeah.
Right. And I agree with you. I think there are some things that are pretty or at least to me, they're self-explanatory. But are they
See, that's my point.
Right.
I would think that would be very self-explanatory by me just stating, go over to the cemetery.
Right.
Right. Only because I'm more of a forward thinking person. I'm going to go over, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to, obviously he wants me here. There must be something wrong, right? Like with what's going on, but not everybody's built like us. And that's my point, is that I got to give a little more description of what it is that I'm actually looking for. Nobody can read my mind. Nobody's a mind reader.
Well, your wife thinks she can.
She is actually a good mind reader. She really is. But I'm supposed to read her mind. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
it's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I've gotten better.
It's like Braille.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud, Vic? Oh,
No,
everybody heard me.
No, but I mean, as we mature, like you stated earlier, as we grow up, as the business matures and as but my point too was, how I led then isn't gonna may have got us here, but where we want to go, you know what I mean? I have to change. I have to redevelop myself as a leader in today's day and age, whether it's the technology, it's the things I'm studying, the things I'm listening to, the events that I'm attending, in order to get where we want to go, whether I want to sell, whether we want to do XYZ amount dollar, whatever that case might be, because we might have all the right people in all the right seats, but if they're not being led correctly or giving enough description of what it is they should be doing, we'll never reach that goal. And then what happens too, this is the other thing too, if they're not being led well enough, people get a little too comfortable and they get complacent, right? And okay is just okay, right? When we're, the enemy of good is great. Like we want to continuously be great.
But
if I'm riding on my laurels and I'm sitting back in my chair and with my feet propped up, and people might say, well, as long as you have the right leadership in place, that's still not, I've been doing this long enough. It doesn't matter who I put in place. The message will not be the same unless it's coming from me, the energy, the CEO.
Right. And you know what's complacent? So you talk about, that's a great word, by the way, complacent, because you're like, okay, listen, man, my business is doing this and it keeps going up a couple percentages every year. So good, whatever. But they get complacent. And then when they get complacent, okay, and you go to ask them to do more.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you had an epiphany.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
They're not used to that. Oh, well, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't like this job anymore because, you know what I mean? Like you start going down this, you start really going off.
Oh yeah.
Whereas my father-in-law who passed away, God love him, Don, but he used to say, it's okay for people to walk on eggshells. It's okay. Like we do all the time. You drive in your car, you're constantly, you're speeding, but you're constantly looking for the cops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The kids, your kids, they want to know where the line is. When's the line that goes from dad yelling at me to dad just snatching me up?
Right.
Right. But employees want to know. They need to know there's when it's time to and when it's not.
Yes. And
we're walking on eggshells because there might be a change tomorrow.
Yes.
And that is good because, my wife works for a $700 billion company. For them to turn, it's like taking this Freightliner.
Oh yeah.
And do this. And when they have new things going on, there's 4,377 people that have to do the same thing to turn this Freightliner.
Oh yeah.
When we should be able to do it like this because we're a smaller company and it shouldn't affect anybody. It should be, what's my role?
Yeah.
And what do you expect from us by turning this 45 degrees?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we go, oh, you're changing my world.
Yeah.
Like that just,
and I think on your point is in my earlier days of leadership, it would have just been, we're doing it.
Right.
That's it. I don't just shut up, just do it. This is what we're doing. And I'm not saying I still don't have that attitude at times because sometimes I don't have the time, right? It just needs to happen. Okay. But I think the way that I approach things too is like, we try not to roll things out to the entire company at one time. Right. And then most recently, I started to write clarity notes from Ty. There were some changes happening upstairs. And so I wrote, instead of me just telling you,
right,
and then leaving. Okay. I thought, well, there would be more impact if I actually wrote something out and showed you what I want your new role, some new task that I want you to pick up and the impact that it's going to have on the company and why this is so important.
That's a great idea.
So I started going through writing notes for Ty. And this is the thing too, like there's a couple people who have been here for a little while that I also think their roles might not be changing, but need a clarity note, whether it's comfortability, whether it's, I just see gaps, like, hey, I feel like you should be, this is your job, just so you know, instead of getting their job description from them, it's my job to tell them and remind them sometimes what their job is and the importance of that role. Like,
and it's okay to do that.
You're the bridge between sales and production.
But it's okay to do that too.
Yeah.
That's where it gets lost in the sense of, it's like, I can't believe you're saying that to me.
Mm-hmm.
What part of it didn't you understand? Like,
right.
What part? I don't get it. Like, we're just changing some things. It happens everywhere you go.
And they're not always going to get it right away. But after 3 months, it's just now their job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it just wears off where it's like, this is just the normal. That's every day. I've come in here for a week now and it's habit now.
We are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And they love the fact that they come in, they sit down in a chair, make their coffee the same way and do all of that. And God forbid, my dad was the worst. God forbid that one car got in his way on his 30-minute drive to work. Mm-hmm. His day was ruined. No doubt. Right. And we do have employees like that. You got to take that into account. Mm-hmm. But I think to your point, like that message, like going in and changing it, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, you go in and say, here's some things that are going to change. Mm-hmm. Okay. The other thing too is talking about the change at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Reading a book about talking about where you go into a meeting and you have an agenda, but you don't tell them the agenda up front.
Yeah.
What you do is you bring up, here's a couple things that I was thinking of. And there's only one on the board that really matters to you at that point. You let them talk about all the other stuff. And then, you get to this certain one and you see how could that be implemented? They don't know it's going to be implemented, but if we did it, how we do it, you let them go down the line and that's the one you really want. And then when you do that, say, okay, I really like that one. We're going to implement that one. And now it's their idea.
Yes. Yes.
Even though it's exactly how you wanted it. Yeah. Exactly everything.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it's never a good idea until we think it's a good idea as individuals, any individual.
Right. And, it's always the majority in the room too. Mm-hmm. Right. So if there's 4 people in that room and 3 of them go, wow, that's pretty good. The other one's like, listen, man, I'm kind of caught off on it, but, let's walk down this road, see where it goes. Maybe, that's what you want.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And sometimes it's very hard to get.
And a lot of these things should be a team effort. If they feel like that they're involved in the decision making, it goes no different than me when I work for somebody else or household change, mom and dad, if they're like, hey, how do you feel about this? We plan on going here or whatever, doing that. It gives you a sense of belonging, like my opinion really matters. My influence, I have influence here. You know what I mean? It gives you that sense of belonging, but it gives you that empowerment.
Right.
You feel empowered I'm helping.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, let's talk about so there's some, and I'm going to use something that happened with my daughter about this empowerment. I thought it was really good. Superintendent of the school district asked a bunch of kids to go into this meeting and talk about, they were 9th, 10th, and I believe 11th graders. Like, hey, what do you see? Which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, bring them in, tell us what you see. What are some things on your mind? What would you change? What would help us? I thought that was great. Mm-hmm. You talk to a parent, their agenda is different than this kid's agenda.
Yeah.
But if you get the right ones in the room, they're going to tell you the right answers. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and she said, I think my daughter said to the superintendent, need to turf the field. And she knew it was a challenging. She told me later, and she knew it was a challenging question because turfing the fields, not everybody likes that. The parents get upset because you're spending so much money on you know what I mean? Like it's like it just goes down. But she knew it was going to be a tough question. But she also knew it was going to be a tough question because of what she was going to ask him next. Mm-hmm. The next question, right? Mm-hmm. So and I thought this was all good because, and he said, listen, it's whatever, it's $1 million, whatever the number was, $1 million. And right now there's things that are more important than that. Mm-hmm. And her next question was, okay, so it's more important than me getting home at 10 o'clock at night and then having to study because we have to practice 7 to 9. Mm-hmm. And he went on to the next question. And I thought it was brilliant. So like in this meeting with your employees, you bring up these things and they make these challenges. The next question is going to be the hard one. You as a leader have to be prepared for it. Yeah. And I don't think he was prepared that these kids are smarter than we have to be prepared as leaders to know that, I better have my stuff together.
Yeah.
If they're, the proverbial, well, let me get back to you, but let me think about that and get back. Mm-hmm. Sometimes in today's world,
I don't believe you.
Because they know we're smarter than that. Yeah. We've done it for 18 years. Mm-hmm. So they know that we've thought about this.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're asking these questions.
Right. Exactly.
So when she walked into that room, I don't think he felt that he was going to get tough questions. Mm-hmm. It was maybe kumbaya and everybody was having a good time.
Right.
But she hit him with it,
Good for him or her.
I mean, yeah. But I'm saying is we have, as leaders, it showed me that I have to be ready, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first time I got health insurance in the company and I'm standing there and the insurance rep's in and they're doing all their talking and they ask a question and the insurance rep went like this. And I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let me get back to you.
Yeah. And sometimes there is that. I don't know the answer to that question or not, but I will get back to you.
But we should, if we're going to ask them to be prepared or we're going to ask them, we should be a little bit better prepared. There are going to be some questions.
Yeah.
An insurance question. Do you think I'm really going to know it?
I won't.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I won't.
The only thing I know is I get a call every year. Hey, it went up.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just went through that ourselves.
Yeah. Did you fix his camera, Vic? You fixed his camera.
Did you fix my camera?
You did. Yeah. He didn't get any prettier.
Didn't I? I should have.
He didn't get any prettier.
I should have. What, where are we at on time here?
Almost 48 minutes.
48 minutes.
Almost 48 minutes. Todd, we got another 48 minutes in us, don't we?
I know we do. We probably got at least another 2 hours. But before we get off here real quick, is there something that you want to leave our viewers with?
Yeah. There's a lot. I talk about, I've been talking about it a lot lately. Coaching youth. I coach sports. I'm a varsity lacrosse coach.
Yep.
And through this whole COVID type thing we had gone through, I found that I maybe was disappointed in the kids, but it probably ended up figuring out that I was more disappointed in the parents, allowing just not being parents. Whether a divorce situation or what, but I think there's hope. And I find that, people are stronger than you realize and kids are stronger than you realize.
Yeah. More resilient.
Yes. Than we ever give them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we need to be that with each other because I think part of everything that people are trying to, or I don't know what's trying to go on. They try to get us to hate one another.
Yeah.
And it just gets exhausting.
Yeah.
And so I have hope. I have hope for our future. I have hope for a lot of things. And I think we need to put our hand out and shake hands and tell people we love them a lot more.
Yeah.
I think it matters because you don't know where that person's been in that day. And I started doing something a while ago, and I think you and I talked about it before. And probably 3 to 4 times a week, I'll send out text. Now, you and I text a lot, so it's different. But I'll send texts out to people that I haven't talked to in a while, and I call it being intentional.
Yes.
Hey, hope all's well. That's all I put. Hope all is well.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get a dissertation back. Thanks for reaching out. I was thinking of you, man. It's been tough, Chris. And then sometimes you'll get, it's been great. Thanks for reaching out and thinking of me.
Yeah.
But I think we need to do more of that.
I agree.
We need to do more of that. Not only I walk around the shop. I'm sure you do too. You walk around the building every day. I walk around my shop every day. You know what I mean? An employee just had a baby, Every baby born in our building is baby Chris, by the way. And it's gender neutral. Just wanted everybody to know that. But they didn't name them that. But their raise was determined based on if they were naming their baby Chris.
Yeah. How'd that go over?
Not very well. So there's no Chris's, no new Chris's.
So if I'm hearing what you're saying, you mean to be more empathetic because we don't know what people are going through? Or... I
think cognizant of situations. I think we need to be, we all want to regurgitate, our opinions because we opined for so long during COVID that I think sometimes right now you don't want to regurgitate those. I think you want to stop, listen, and ask yourself, what are they asking of me right now? And it's one of the things I work on every day. And I know my wife's probably going to laugh at me when she watches this thing. Right. But I truly do drive around, think about, how can I handle that situation better? Or how can I be better? It's part of the leadership.
For sure. I mean, we have to.
Right.
And that's a part of that personal development journey. There's no destination to this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I was trying to say earlier. It's like, I could just show up every day and just stick my feet up on a desk.
Right.
And wonder why things aren't improving or why we're not growing or why things became stagnant.
Yeah. And I have hope for the kids because, one day I got a little mad and we were in the locker room and I just, the woe is me stuff gets on my nerves, Ty. And I finally broke down and said to him, I don't share a lot. I just met my biological father when I was 30. I haven't talked to my mom when I was 18. And I get all this, my parents are divorced. Well, mine were divorced 4 times. I don't that just doesn't bode well with me. And I hit him with it. I was like, you guys want to poo-poo on me and you can't come to practice because your toenail's hanging off. And I said, but if I don't put you in the game when you're not here because you didn't come to practice, that's a problem because your parents are sitting or one of your parents are sitting in the stand. I was like, listen, you guys got to get away from this poo-poo-pooing about each other. And you just got to start showing up and start making it happen. Yeah. And that's and I shouldn't have probably opened up that much, but I will tell you, they opened up more to me because they felt the same way. You know what? Oh, coach has been through it. Yeah. So no, I digress, a little bit. And
so so wrap that up for me.
Well, I just think that we need to love one another a little bit more. And I think we need to reach out and understand people's situations. And I think I'm going to be honest with you, stay away from the TV. Yeah. Stay off, get out of that shit. Shake somebody's hand. Yeah. Look them in the eye. Know what their world's like. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I try to. It's this is not all about money. Yeah. It's not. This is all about we need to love one another, and we need to do it in a better way, including myself.
No doubt.
So
yeah. No, I like that. I agree. I agree that, we need to be a little more empathetic. But on the other side of the coin too, is that we're not here to be doormats either.
No.
And if you're not willing to meet me halfway, at least meet me halfway. Mike and I just had a conversation, my guy down in the Carolinas, yesterday about, meeting, boo-hooing about torn toenails or whatever the question might be or whatever the issue might be. You know what I mean? There was, all this soft, and I guess that's what drives me crazy sometimes too. It's not everyone, but there's, looking for something for nothing and, and navigating through that bullshit. Are they just looking for something for nothing or are they willing to put in the work? You know what I mean? And then, they missed practice and then it's game day Friday, right? And they don't understand why they're sitting on the bench. You know what I mean? But you never put the work in. Everybody else was here. Even the worst player on the team is here meeting me halfway. So I'm pouring into this kid. You won't allow me to pour into you, but yet you want to get the glory, on game day. You know what I mean? And I think people don't understand, you got to be consistent. One, I can't trust you. I didn't know if I could put you on the lineup or not because you weren't here Sunday or Thursday's practice. So you show up Friday because it's game day, but I didn't no call, no show. What was I supposed to do?
But that goes for work. You're making a sports analogy right now.
Yeah, totally.
But the same goes for your office.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Right. Oh, why did he get that lead? Well, you weren't here. And by the way, they were asking about this, which you weren't in our meeting about that. And we weren't able to bring up the date. We just went that direction.
Yes.
Right.
Totally.
Oh, but it's that you're taking money out of my mouth or food out of my kid's mouth. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Then you should have worried about that when you took off 2 days this week already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
no doubt.
Yeah, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. What a great conversation. Always. Like I said earlier, this is why you were definitely one of my favorite guests coming on the show because always our conversation should be recorded. Every conversation we have, on the phone, the conversation we had earlier today when we were on the call, like that, all of that stuff should be recorded and edited, most of it, but there are some golden gems in there that, and I enjoy you. I appreciate you more than you'll probably ever know, Chris.
One of these times I want to have a show, Ty, because I keep a list of quotes and like favorite quotes or favorite things out of a book or whatever.
Yeah.
I want us to come on here and just start going down the list, reading some of the good ones.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure you probably write them down or you have a book of them. It would be really cool to go down and start reading those and be like, and what
it means to you, not necessarily in terms of when you read it or heard it, because I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're like me. Even though I'm reading something, my mind goes somewhere else. Like, they meant it this way, but I can use it this way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'd like to hear your interpretation.
I'm going to give you one little gem.
Okay.
John Wooden, basketball coach, UCLA, won 10 titles.
It's so weird you just said his name.
The Pyramid of Life.
Yes.
But one of his favorites.
Yeah.
One of his favorite sayings is, it's what I learned after I knew it all that made me the man I am today. And I'm thinking, priceless.
Yeah.
I've kept that with me forever because it is so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So, and that's one of my favorites. John Wooden.
Yeah.
If you don't, you got to dig into him.
Yeah.
He's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I just started.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just started. Yeah. It's so
awesome.
weird you just said his name.
He's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. He's one of the all-time greatest NBA coaches of all time.
No, NCAA.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. You know, a short guy like you doesn't know basketball, right?
Not at all. No.
But he's awesome.
But I will kick your ass at a game one-on-one.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I tore my Achilles years ago. Okay. So it's all Vic's fault.
Excuses already coming. No, I love you. But
you too,
lacrosse, I'll let you kick my ass. I'll give you that one. No. Okay. Anyhow, how about pickleball?
We can play pickleball.
Yeah, I like pickleball.
Yeah, and then when I beat you, don't cry.
I won't.
And we can't play 77 games till you win one, and then you say I won.
Why? It's the last one that counts. I'm just warming up. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chris, for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Behind the Tool Belt, episode 279. If you haven't liked, loved, and subscribed yet, please do that. And if you know anybody that may get something out of this, please share it with them.
Absolutely.
And or reach out to us, ask us any questions in the comments. We do follow back up.
Be intentional.
Yeah.
Be intentional.
Till then, we will see you guys next week as Vic and I will be on the road.